I think he made an open declaration in court where he said, give me 5 minutes if I'm released, I'm going to end the violence in the Southeast. He made the declaration in court last year. What else do you want from him? And you are the government, at any rate, you have a duty to protect the public. It's not his job to protect the Southeast or the Southwest. But the truth is that I have said this, and I'll repeat again. If you are a Nigerian, you can get away with a lot of things. But if you are Igbo, Nigerian, you can't get away with a lot of things. Yes.
But you're not getting you're not getting away with much.
Yes, but the odds are stacked against you because you're coming with zero, and they'll do it to you. I mean, it was in this country that there's a Yoruba nation movement. They even went and hijacked a radio station last year. Did you hear of any trial? Did you hear of any arrest? I'm not using that. I'm not saying that should not be the case, but we must tell ourselves the truth. That it just doesn't look good that the Igbos are marginalized in every sector, including in the justice sector. To get a trial wrapped up in 10 years is that so difficult to do, especially when you claim that you have evidence that this person has committed these grievous crimes. Nothing has been done. There's nobody who's been presented as a witness. The only witness that was presented in his case did not accuse him of any crime. He didn't say he found a gun on him or he was importing ammunition or weapons or had a grenade. He just said, well, he was making declaration that he wants Biafra. And I've checked the Nigerian Constitution, 1999 Constitution. There's nowhere it is stated that it's a crime to say that you want Biafra.
Yeah. Well,
all right, Barrister. Sowore have been in the news for the past for the past 2 weeks now, and this big week has been so hot. He has contacted Atiku, contacted Obi, contacted Abia lawmakers, he visited Goodluck Jonathan yesterday to discuss it because they want to protest that. Now, I don't know where this is coming from with Sowore, but I am really, really impressed. I don't know why the sudden turn of events or sudden turn of attention on Nnamdi Kanu from the civil society organization, especially with Sowore. I don't know where it's coming from. Nnamdi Kanu has been there for years, and nobody has said anything. But I think, just like the Bible says, time and season for everything. I don't believe probably this is the time to release Nnamdi Kanu, and that's why God is actually stimulating so many people to start talking about it. So the Nnamdi Kanu thing, now the release of Nnamdi Kanu thing is at the forefront of the political event in Nigeria right now, because it has also attracted Atiku, who actually is also supporting, even though I just know it's because of political reason. Where has he been all these years? Because it's for political expediency. That's why he's doing that. But at least, whether for your ulterior motive or not, the most important is that the powers that be, some of the members of the powers that be, some of the high and mighties are probably adding their voices to this protest. And Atiku has publicly supported the protest, and I think if I'm right, I think he said he was going to be at the protest too. They will be protesting to Aso Rock. But that of Peter Obi, I don't know. And this man challenged the Igbo people, because honestly, I think the Igbo, there are some powerful people, politicians in Igbo land that are actually responsible. They are also part of the reason why Nnamdi Kanu remained incarcerated. They are actually the ones instigating the government, the president, or the government of the day, then Buhari, now Tinubu, not to release that guy. Because I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe I don't know if you think the same way with me, maybe you have a reason that comes to mind that makes sense to you, but because I don't know why, but something tells me that the Igbos are some of the powerful politicians in Igbo land are part of the reasons why Nnamdi Kanu is still under incarceration. Otherwise, where are they? They should have been doing something, talking about it. We have Igbo people in government. They would have spoken with it. Look at this crazy guy. What's his name? This guy in Lagos, this Igbo man in Lagos, that they have warned him not to come to the east. Ibokwe. You've been following him. That crazy guy. I don't know what. I don't know if he truly has an Igbo blood in him. Because that guy, I don't know, he so much hates Igbos like no man. I don't understand why that man is fighting against his own people. Do you understand that this guy actually came publicly and warned the government not to release Nnamdi Kanu?
I read it. You
can imagine this kind of nonsense. So now look at the Yoruba man, Sowore. I'm so impressed. I have my issues with Sowore, especially when it's with regards to US. Both of us have completely different opinion with the US policy and politics. So he is a liberal person when it comes to whatever. But that's my problem with some people. You have to have a standard. If you believe in, you have to have one standard. If you have one standard, you should be able to judge things, whether you are in your country or you are on another country. You should judge things on the same standard. But if you judge things based on environment, that means you are playing double standard. So back to my point, Barrister. Are you impressed with what Sowore is doing, and why do you think that the protest will be successful?
One, the protest will not be successful. Two, I always have some misgivings on a lot of things that Sowore does. I am not a rabble-rouser. I try to think things deeply. I try to understand a situation and play the devil's advocate by being on both sides, by reasoning from both sides. I want to put myself on the other side and understand, and then put myself on this side and try to understand. We have a problem in the Southeast. The IPOB is a problem. There are a lot of youths with sophisticated arms. They want to overthrow the state. They want to stop the state from operating. Institutions of state like the police, like the army, and others. And they want to be in charge. And a lot of people have died. That is a fact.
Yeah.
In the Southeast. And mostly within Southeasterners themselves. The problem is on the ground. Now, when you talk about the release of Kanu, I'm all for it. But then what? What the day after? Will that solve the problem in the Southeast if Nnamdi Kanu is released?
You heard what
I'm coming. We discussed.
You heard what Sowore said.
I heard what Sowore said, that he said if he's released within 10 days, he's able to stop. But that is not all. Remember when we discussed this issue, I told you that successive government, there have been delegations of Igbos, prominent Igbos, that have gone to successive governments for the release from Buhari's time. In Buhari's time, I think about 3 or 4 delegations of Igbos went at different times to plead for his release. And even now, under Tinubu, that has gone on.
Who were those delegations? How important are they in Igbo land or to the government?
Whether they're important or not.
That's the point.
The issue is why the government did not respond. And it still comes back to this. You are doing this activity. If we leave you, are you going to stop the activity? Or you will continue the activity? And I said, in my opinion, if Nnamdi Kanu had pledged that he will stop violence, I believe the government believes that he is behind it. And a lot of people also believe that he's behind it. I think that the government, particularly Tinubu's government, would have released him. But the same question is, we release you, you go back to what we believe you have been doing. Let me do, like I said, the devil's advocate. You go back to what we believe you have been doing. So where do we go from there?
Okay.
Now, another angle to it, just like you pointed out, there are a lot of people within the Southeast that don't want Kanu to be released. That's the truth. It's only Igbokwe that has come up openly to say it, but there are a lot of others, prominent people. Let me give you an example. There is news now that Tinubu conceded the Senate presidency to the Southeast instead of Akpabio. Some Igbo prominent one, a governor and others came and said no, because they wanted, if the president, the Senate president was to go to the Southeast, two people, I think Nnamdi Kanu and they were the most prominent.
Nnamdi was the most prominent then.
And these people said, no, we don't, this man will overshadow us. He can't be given that post. They blocked Tinubu. They opposed Tinubu from conceding the Senate president to the Southeast. That's what made Tinubu to now give the Senate president to the South, and Akpabio emerged. So I will not be surprised that some prominent Igbos are behind the scenes, are also making sure that Nnamdi Kanu is not released. Remember who bailed him? Abariba is the one that bailed Kanu in the first instance, and he has been very outspoken.
Yeah.
On the release of Kanu, but others behind the scene in the night.
Now,
outside the glare of publicity,
now
they will go and say something else, that this man is causing trouble. If you release him, he's going to cause trouble.
Yeah, okay. Now, I am completely on his side. Like you say, you know, I have said it earlier that I wasn't Kanu's fan. I was a fan of Igbo Biafra nation going on their own, but not a fan of the messenger who is Kanu. But since his incarceration, he has actually earned my respect. And I respect people who are courageous in their fight, whatever they are fighting for, no matter the heat, no matter the pressure, no matter the challenge, they still stick and stand with their ideas. Such people earn my respect. That's consistency. So for the fact that they have refused to release him because he refused to denounce the agitation for Biafra, that actually has even increased my respect for him, because if I were in his shoes, I would do the same thing, because you don't expect someone with such an idea to come out and stop talking about it. That would be that would just be too stupid of him to do that. Now, there are people who have done even worse than, who have really killed with evidence, who have massacred people in the form of that have been very, very genocidal in the north. The bandits, the real terrorists that the government even know, none of them is under incarceration. They are living large off government resources. Government officials know where they are. They visit them from time to time. The military personnel know them. They even collude with the military personnel to actually get what they need, to do what they do. So, and here we have Kanu, who we never saw Kanu with a gun in the public. He never brandished any, not even a pistol. All he has done, all Kanu did all those years, and even up to now, has always been using megaphone. He was just using megaphone. And that is it. Yet you don't want to release him. If that is the reason why, I stick with him, as long as he refuses to budge or cave to the pressure of government making him to denounce the agitation of Biafra. Hell no. Honestly, me right now, initially I was on the fence in this issue. Years ago, I was on the fence. But as the year passes by, I've become more and more, and become not even more and more, I've now become an ardent supporter of Biafran nation, because it has become so glaring and obvious that the Nigerian nation really, really hate the Igbos. Other major ethnic groups, especially the powers that be, not the people around us, people of other tribes. No, the people in government, the power block in Nigerian government of other ethnicity, they just don't like Igbos. And I want to understand why. Of course, anybody that is gifted in a family, every other member of that family would by default just be envious of that person, because all the attention and attraction goes to that person. Therefore, it's just like what happened with Joseph with the Israelites among the children of Isaac. Is it Isaac? Isaac, yeah, Jacob. I mean, among the children of Jacob, what happened with Joseph? It's just the same thing happening with Igbo. So that's no surprise to me. That's understandable. But on the issue of protest, now, again, I don't know if I can say I believe I can go with you, your opinion of the protest will not work, because if the powers, for the first time, the important political figures are keying in, especially political figures that are not from the East. From Yoruba land, people are speaking so aggressively, even from apart from Sowore, people are speaking aggressively from Yoruba land too. And now we have Atiku from the north, and probably they will galvanize other people, especially and the people, especially the opposition now, who sees Tinubu as an enemy, political enemy. They want to capitalize on this, even though they do not have that genuine, like person like Atiku, do not have that genuine intention for Kanu. They want to capitalize or use this platform to actually fight Tinubu's government in a very legitimate way. As a result of that, I believe people will key into this protest. Strong political figures, including from the north, will key in this. Look at Mahdi now. Mahdi is now even agitating for Kanu to be released. You can imagine Mahdi during that presidential. Mahdi was one of the. I made a monologue against Mahdi on this issue. He was so antagonistic of Peter Obi, antagonistic of the Igbos, antagonistic of Biafra nation. But here we are today. Mahdi, you can imagine someone like Mahdi, who was an ardent critic, ardent antagonist of the Igbos, of Biafra, is now the one now fighting. I read this or whatever. He was so aggressive about it, very aggressive and articulate about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So you can see this. You think these people are gathering because they love Nnamdi Kanu, or they love the Igbos, or they have changed their mind. Their minds are no. They are doing it because they want to fight Tinubu, because they now view Tinubu as their enemy. So they want to use this platform as a launching platform to do harm to Tinubu's government. So I think if about 50-60%, I still believe that the protest will work, and the remaining rates will probably be okay. The powers that be will be adamant and refuse to cave. But I think now that voices are really coming up, I think. Let me
say that I think you are aware. I know you are aware of the government response to Sowore's call for protest. Yes. They released a statement yesterday.
Yes.
And referring to the judicial process that is underway. So you have to know that Kanu will only come out under two circumstances in the current situation: by the government, through the Attorney General, terminating the prosecution, the charges against him, or by the judicial process going to the end and the court finding no sufficient evidence against him.
No, but remember the court has given a judgment for him to be released.
No. The court, that judgment does not supersede the trial that is going on now. Don't make the mistake. He is facing charges, evidence. The government has brought its witnesses.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be on bail. That's my point.
Why the case
continue? Yeah, but that's the point.
Bail is not a final release. You are still going to court to answer to the
but Mr. Habak, how are you? Now you they tell me this kind of thing. Am I when it comes to court social? Or now you they teach me this kind? I know, God, that bail. At least suppose what people are asking for. Let him. The court has already granted him bail. Release him on bail. Why the case continues?
You see, the problem started from Buhari's time and with the former National Security Advisor, Dasuki.
Yes.
I criticized, I don't know whether it was on your show or not. Buhari came out and said, based on wrong advice that he got from the Attorney General, that the government has the right to determine if you are a national security threat. And so, irrespective of a court order for your release, the government will hold you. Now, that was based on a very wrong legal advice that the Attorney General gave to Buhari. The genesis of that was a court proceeding where somebody was taken to court, and the government went to court and said, this man is a national security risk. If you release him, if you grant him bail, he is a national security threat.
Right,
and the court, no, I'm coming. The court agreed with them and said, this man is a national security threat and the government should not release him. So they took that as a unilateral approach that the president can, of his own, hold somebody on grounds of national security threat. That is wrong. The government has to go to court and show the national security threat, and the court must approve it.
Now, let me ask you this question now.
The government goes to court in Kanu's case, and they were not able to approve it. The court was not able to agree with the government. He should have been released on bail based on the court order. That was my argument against Buhari right from the time of Dasuki and then against Nnamdi Kanu.
Thank you.
He should have been released.
Now, do you
of these two ways that he can come out? One is by the government terminating the proceeding. That is political action, where concessions must be made.
Okay, all right.
And the second one is by the process. The government has called a few witnesses and closed his case. So Kanu is to enter his defense.
We have to move on.
If at the end the court does not see any sufficient evidence, the court will discharge him and acquit him.
All right. Now, on a different note, remember I told you that Igbo man will never will never become the president of Nigeria, and I gave you reason. Not the reason of other Nigerians, but my own reason as an Igbo man is because of what we just talked about now. That the Igbos are actually you just mentioned some things that are very, very critical to the interest or against the interest of Igbos in general. Now, you just mentioned how people schemed. Igbos, the prominent Igbo men, how they schemed for an Igbo man not to be the Senate president. We all know that Igbos are actually responsible, powerful Igbo men are responsible for the incarceration of Kanu as well. This is brothers doing their own themselves. This is the reason why you can imagine what you just said now. I've not had that conspiracy theory. This is the first time I had that conspiracy theory. So it's a news, this conspiracy theory you just gave to me now is actually news to me. That actually that Igbo people schemed, and being who you are, I know because you are someone who don't just believe anything. But for you to say something is something you just believe. Your instinct, because you are very careful to say something as a lawyer, especially. So for you to even go with this theory, believe this theory, this conspiracy theory, it means that there is actually it's potent. There's potency in it. So that's to tell you what Igbo people can do. And that's what they do. Because of this, I have told you that this has been the reason. This is the bane of the Igbo race, especially when it comes to political power. They are the ones who like to pull them down themselves. That's exactly what is happening. That is why it will be difficult. It will be difficult. So anyway, let's move to the next topic, Barrister.
Yeah, you say on the leadership, the issue of Kanu too is the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Present a common front.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I said behind the scenes, others are saying, it's a problem, don't release him. Because politically, he has already overshadowed all the political actors in Igbo land.
Yes.
If Nnamdi Kanu was to come out today and contest for governor or senator, he will win by a landslide.
Yes, he will.
On a popular vote.
Yeah.
So by even elevating him, you are overshadowing every other Igbo politician, even including Peter Obi.